What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Haunted Beard. Thank you for joining me. Well, today I decided I wanted to try my first ever tier list video. So, I thought it would be a good idea to do a slasher movies tier list. Seems like an appropriate choice. Talk about a lot of slasher movies here on my channel, so why not do a slasher movies tier list? Anyways, here we go. Yeah, I've got over 50 movies, and a lot of these I've done reviews and rankings for already, but some of them not. So we just got a list of over 50 slasher movies that we're going to put in my tier list. So let me know how you guys like this video. I'll do more. Give me ideas for other ones that you'd like me to see. And yeah, anyways, let's do it. Here we go. All right, so kicking things off here, we've got, looks like Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. And this one, I'm going to go decent on this one. This one does have some decent stuff. I don't really like how they just kind of blatantly disregard the rules that are set up in the original, just because, you know, Freddy's now out in the real world. I do think that the scene later on in the movie where Freddy comes out of the dude's chest is pretty sweet. And I do like how sinister Freddy is, but they really play loose with the rules. Next up, we got Nightmare on Elm Street 3. And for me, I'm going to go amazing in that one. It's not quite at the all-timer, but it is pretty dang good. Absolutely love Nightmare on Elm Street 3. It's my second favorite in the series. And yeah. All right, next up, we got Alice, Sweet Alice. And I've only seen this once. It's been a while ago. I don't remember it all that much. And I think just my thoughts that I can remember coming away from it was that it was decent. I know it's kind of considered a bit of a classic, but it was just okay for me. So next up is My Bloody Valentine. And this may be a bit of a controversial pick here, but I'm going to go terrible. I did not like. This is the original, by the way. I like the remake. It's kind of a guilty pleasure. I think it's kind of fun. But the original I thought was just terrible. It was just awful. I just remember, I don't really remember many specific things about it, so like it's hardly held up at all in my mind. But I just remember my initial reaction to it was that it was just horribly dated and cheesy and terrible acting and dialogue, which is kind of what you expect. I don't remember any of the kills. There's just nothing about it that stuck out for me. I really was disappointed by it because it's kind of considered a classic. So just being honest. Next up, we got Bride of Chucky. And Bride of Chucky, I just recently did a review and ranking of the entire Child's Play franchise on my channel, so check that out if you haven't yet. But looks like we got a bunch of these. Yeah, coming up. Bride of Chucky, I'm going to go... I feel like it's not probably quite as good as Nightmare 3, but I'll put it in the amazing. It probably should be in good, but it's pretty solid. I quite enjoy it. The banter, obviously, between Chucky and Tiffany is just the highlight. It's pretty great. The original Child's Play... the original Child's Play for me, it is my favorite out of the franchise. I'm going to put that one in amazing as well. I think it really holds up really well. I loved just the practical doll effects in it. And I really enjoy the ending sequence. It's pretty great. Child's Play, the remake from 2019. That one is... I'm going to go decent. It's verging into don't like, but I'll go decent. I think it does have some redeeming qualities. Overall, it's just kind of a mid-tier, middle-of-the-road type of movie for me. I think I gave it like a 5 out of 10 when I reviewed it. So, Child's Play 2. Child's Play 2 for me, I'm going to go in the good category. I like Child's Play 2. Overall, I mean, I like the Child's Play franchise. It's not like one of my absolute favorites, but I like them. Child's Play 2, obviously the highlight there is just the whole climactic sequence in the toy factories. Pretty top-notch. Child's Play 3, I'm also going to put that in the good. I'm going to put that one in the good. I really like the opening kill of Chucky when he's in the toy executive's office. That's a really good kill. And just get some really good Chucky one-liners in that one as well. So I kind of like the new setting. The new Andy is not too bad, but it's pretty good. Next up, we've got Cult of Chucky. Actually, no, we're going to do Curse of Chucky because that's the one that comes next in the franchise. Curse of Chucky, I'm going to go with decent. This was one that I didn't quite enjoy it as much as I had hoped I was going to. I thought that it was really similar to the original. It just kind of felt a little bit like rehashed, like we already seen this before. And I thought it was a bad choice to wait like halfway into the movie before we really got our first Chucky line and any sort of Chucky action. So I was a bit bummed out by that decision. Anyways, next up is Cult, and this is probably a hot take, but I'm going to put Cult in good. I like Cult of Chucky. I totally understand the complaints that people have with it. I understand that he kind of plays loose and fast with the rules, but at that point, what is that, movie 7 in the franchise? It was kind of a little bit of a breath of fresh air for me. I kind of just liked that Mancini just kind of swung for the fences and took some crazy chances on it. So, Freddy versus Jason. Freddy vs. Jason is a fun time. I wouldn't call it amazing. It's not a good movie, but it is fun, and I quite enjoy it. So I'm going to put Freddy vs. Jason in the good category. It's just kind of big, loud, dumb fun. Like, you know what you're getting, you know what to expect, and it pretty much delivers on that. So it's fun. Uh, Freddy's Dead. If there was a category below terrible, that's where Freddy's Dead belongs, because Freddy's Dead is absolutely horrifically awful. Um, it is, it's horrendous. It's terrible, terrible, and I don't need to spend any more time talking about it. Friday the 13th remake. So we're getting ready to come into, there's some Friday the 13th films on this list, obviously, and that's really the big main franchise yet that I haven't done reviews and a ranking for. I've done Nightmare on Elm, I've done Halloween, I've done Chucky, I haven't done Friday the 13th. The main reason for that is because I like a couple of them, but I haven't actually seen all of them, believe it or not. I've seen the majority of them, though. I'm just not the biggest Friday the 13th fan. And so having to sit through, what is there, like 12 movies? Like 9 of them would be kind of just like, ugh. So, anyways, the remake, I'll say, is decent. I'm probably with pretty much everybody. That opening 15 minutes is pretty legit, pretty solid. The rest of the film is, it's okay. It's kind of typical stuff. I do like, I think Derek Mears. I think his portrayal of Jason is pretty good. He kind of gives it a little bit of a different flavor, so I appreciated that. Friday the 13th Part 2, I got to be honest, I vaguely remember Friday the 13th Part 2. This is the Sackhead Jason one, I believe. I know I'm like, this is like blasphemy in horror circles right now, me kind of talking down on Friday the 13th. I'm sorry. I just got to be honest. Not that I think they're all terrible. I think you can do better in terms of slasher than the vast majority of the Friday the 13th movies. But anyways, part 2 for me, I'm going to go with don't like. I just really don't remember all that much about it. I probably need to rewatch it, but again, it didn't really leave much of an impression for me. Part 6 is actually one that I enjoy, because I think that's the first one that it like kind of introduces the legit like self-aware humor to where it knows how absurdly ridiculous it all is. And so I appreciate that. So I kind of liked it. Friday the 13th Part 3, it kind of blends in with Part 2 for me. I don't really remember it. I believe this is the one that has the final girl that most people enjoy. Again, I know I'm committing slasher blasphemy because I don't know the names of the final girl. And again, I just, Friday the 13th has not been one that's stuck out for me a whole lot. Chapter 4, though, I will say is pretty good. I'll put Chapter 4 in good. And I think I'm kind of, at least with the majority of people, with Part 6 and Part 4 are probably the two better ones. So the original is okay. It's just okay. And I know that there's kind of that, nostalgic aspect to a lot of these. This is actually a franchise that I've only seen the vast majority of these once, and I just watched these movies within the last few years for the very first time. So I didn't like grow up with these. I didn't grow up with this franchise, and so kind of that nostalgic feel is just kind of out the window for me on a lot of these. So the original Halloween is, of course, an all-timer. It's fantastic. So that's the first one that we got up in the all-timer category here. Yeah, love it. Let's see, Halloween 2. As let's piss some more people off, shall we? I'm going amazing. Why not? I like it. I really do. I think, I understand why people don't like it, but I'm just somebody who, for the most part, really appreciates ambition, and the fact that this thing stands out in such a distinct way as being distinctly different from all the other movies in the franchise. I mean, there's 12, 13 of them. I can't remember exactly. 12 or 13. And like at some point, some of them just kind of start blending together. But Halloween 2, man, for better or for worse, it sticks out. And Rob Zombie just basically said, screw it, screw everybody. I'm going to make the movie I want to make, for better or for worse. Love it or hate it. And I just think there's some good stuff in it. And it is brutal. My God, it is absolutely brutal. I really like Halloween 2. I know. There are people logging off of this video right now, but what can I say? Halloween, the remake from 2018, or I guess it's not really the remake, the continuation, 2018 Halloween. I'm gonna go with good. I like it. Yeah, I like it. It's pretty good. It's got some good stuff. It's also got some stuff that's kind of not as good, but it's my favorite one of the most recent trilogy. So Halloween 2, I'll also put in good as well. I think this one is the most stylistically and kind of atmospherically similar to the original. It really does pair really nicely with the original, kind of doing a back-to-back thing. It could just kind of go right 1, 2 together as one big movie. So Halloween 3, again, this might be controversial. I'm just not a fan. I think Tom Atkins' character is kind of the worst. He's just kind of the worst. Didn't like his character. Didn't really like the story or find it all that compelling. It's got a couple redeeming qualities. The score's pretty good, and it's got a couple gnarly kills. But other than that, just didn't really have much of a good time with this one. So let's see. Next up is Halloween 4. Again, man, I'm I'm really gonna upset some people. Just not a big fan of Halloween 4. Yeah, obviously the mask sucks, and this is one that I just thought the kills were so like restrained and like neutered and not very good. Yeah, there's just not a whole lot about it that sticks out. I think Jamie Lloyd's pretty good. She's probably the highlight, but for the most part, not a big fan. Halloween 5, I'm going to go with, again, I just feel like every choice now I'm just pissing people off. I'm going to go with decent. I think it's decent. I think it does have some decent atmosphere. I understand there's some stuff about it that's terrible, but I like the kills in 5 better than 4. I do hate, though, that they didn't commit to the ending of 4 and just, like, kind of erased it. That really sucks, but this is one, too, that I think expectations really played a big factor, because before I had watched it, I remember, I mean, everybody just absolutely trashes and dumps on this movie, and so I was kind of expecting it to be terrible, and I watched it, and I was like, it's not that bad. So, anyways. Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. We're going to set that one right next to Freddy's Dead, where it belongs in the terrible category. Oh, boy. It's a disaster. It's just a disaster. I mean, the concluding sequence when you've got Paul Rudd shouting a bunch of magic words, and that just puts an end to Michael Myers. Like, the 6 films culminating into Paul Rudd, putting some magic rocks on the ground and then saying a magic word. It makes my blood boil. Very, very disappointing. Halloween H2O. H2O. I'm debating between good or amazing. It is my second favorite. You know what? What the heck? We'll go with amazing. It's really good. I like it. I like I think they really do a solid job developing Laurie Strode. I think Jamie Lee Curtis is really solid in it. This one had a lot more kind of emotional depth and drama to it. The whole mother-son relationship thing that actually kind of worked quite well and didn't take away or distract from, the central conflict with Michael Myers. So I thought all that was really good. And I mean, the final sequence with the showdown between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers is just, I mean, come on, it's awesome. It's just great. Halloween Resurrection. Oh boy, yeah, Busta Rhymes, everybody. Yeah, that goes right in the terrible category, right where it belongs. Um, I mean, I don't really need to say any more about Halloween Resurrection. Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween. We're gonna go with. I'm gonna put that in decent, and I'm kind of with the general consensus here that the first whatever it is 30 minutes or so, all the Michael Myers as a child thing is just not great and doesn't need to be there. And then you got the last 70 minutes, which is actually a pretty good and effective kind of shortened version of a Halloween movie. That's pretty good. And so, like Jamie Lloyd, like Scout Taylor Compton, I like for the most part Rob Zombie's kind of visual presentation and everything. All right, so next up we've got Happy Death Day, and Happy Death Day for me is going to go in good. I need to give it a rewatch. I feel like it could potentially go in amazing. I'm a fan. I quite enjoy it. I like that they took the Groundhog Day structure or gimmick really and introduced it into a slasher movie. I think it works pretty well. Groundhog Day is one of my favorite comedies, so I really liked that. I thought they executed that idea concept pretty well. And I really like Jessica Roth's performance. I think she's pretty solid in it. And I just did a video. My last video was the top 15 final girls. She was in it, so there you go. It's yeah, it's a pretty good one. I have a fun time with it. Next up is Jason X. Jason X for me is terrible. It's just terrible. Look, this entire movie is trash, save for one 30-second scene, and that is the liquid nitrogen kill, where the chick gets her head frozen and then Jason smashes it against the countertop. It's a great kill, one of the best in the whole franchise. But other than that 30 seconds, it's horrendous. And another reason why I have not reviewed the Friday movies, because I would have to sit through Jason X again, and I just can't quite bring myself to do it. Anyways, now we've got I Know What You Did Last Summer, and we're gonna put that one in decent. It's a decent time. It's obviously a bit of a knock, you know. It's a bit of a take on Scream, right? It's a knockoff of Scream, is what I'm trying to say. So it's all right. It's got that late '90s, early 2000s vibe to it. It's all right. Nightmare on Elm 4. And Nightmare on Elm 4 for me, I'm going to go with decent. And this one for me is just a bummer because it's obviously a pretty significant step down from Dream Warriors. And yet, Patricia Arquette, and you brought back Langenkamp in part 3, and then then all the Dream Warriors are just gone by the very beginning of part 4, and you got this new cast of characters. They're not as good, and it's just kind of a disappointment. It's just kind of a bummer. And this is the one too where they kind of start. This is the one where the franchise really starts to shift in terms of Freddy Krueger and his character, because now they start introducing some of the comedy, and it's just like, I don't know whose idea that was, but I wish they never went down that path. Nightmare on Elm 5 for me. And, oh boy. See, I like Nightmare 5 more than 4, and I know that that's probably a hot take. I'm very hesitant to call it good, though, but I'm going to put it in there because I do like it a little bit better than 4. I understand this one's got some weird stuff, but I just remember the scene where I can't even remember the character, but the girl goes in for the ultrasound and like Freddy Krueger is like haunting her baby in the womb. I just thought that was really messed up and disturbing, and it's really stuck with me. And so this one has some stuff with the whole kid element that I found to be pretty effective. And this is the one too, if memory serves, has the kill towards the end that involves like the cockroach kill that was just like I thought phenomenally disgusting, but really good. And so, yeah, I'm gonna put it in good. The original Nightmare on Elm, it's an all-timer. I mean, of course, right? It's an all-timer. Absolutely love it. I've reviewed it on my channel. It's one of my all-time favorites. Psycho. I mean, is there any other place? It's an all-timer. Absolutely love it. There's nothing I can say about it that hasn't been said already, but it absolutely belongs in the all-time list. Scream 2. Scream 2. I'm going to put Scream 2 in good. I like Scream 2. It is good. It's it's just not quite as good as the original. It could possibly go in amazing. It's close to amazing. It's got some good stuff in it. I really like the sequence, the sort of the theatrical sequence when Sydney is on the theater stage and Ghostface starts attacking her. That's a really cool sequence that sticks out. I like the conclusion and when the killers get unveiled. And I hate that they killed Randy. Why, Wes? Why did you have to kill Randy? Dang, man. Scream 3 for me is decent. I can still, put it on and enjoy it. It's a decent time. It's just all right. Scream 4 for me is going to go in I'm going to put it in the amazing tier. I really like Scream 4. It's my second favorite in the franchise behind the original, of course. And this one too has a bit of a kind of a soft spot in my heart because they filmed it in my old hometown, which is really cool. And so like some of the locations, I'm like, hey, I know where that is. I've been there. So that's kind of cool. But I think this one I still think it might be the most brutal, probably between this and number 7, or excuse me, number 6, not 7, 6. But I just really like it. Good kills. I really like the character of Kirby. I think the ending is really good. I like Rory Culkin too. All right, Scream, all-timer. I reviewed it on my channel. Love it. What else can you say? It's great. All right, got a few left here. Next up, Seed of Chucky. Seed of Chucky, special place for you right at the bottom. Seed of Chucky sucks. I don't like it. It's not fun. It's really the only film in that entire franchise that I genuinely dislike. And if you want more thoughts, watch my review, because I just watched it not that long ago and gave you a review. No thank you. Terrifier. I don't know why this didn't have Terrifier 2, but anyways, just Terrifier. I just pulled up a list on the website, so this was a pre-made tier list. I just figured, what the heck. I'm going to go decent. If it was Terrifier 2, I'd put in amazing, because I really like Terrifier 2. But the first one's, it's just decent. It's just decent. The characters are nowhere near as good. I mean, there's not really any story to speak of whatsoever. It does have some solid kills in it, but that's literally all it is. Terror Train. Yeah. Terror Train's pretty good. I remember enjoying it. I'm going to put it in the good category. Putting Terror Train in the good spot. I like the setup. You got a slasher killer on a train. I can't help but think they borrowed a little bit of Agatha Christie, Murder on the Orient Express here. You kind of got a murder mystery, sort of a little bit of a whodunit slasher aboard a train. You got, why am I drawing a blank? Jamie Lee Curtis in one of her Scream Queen roles. And the dude from Die Hard's in this too. Ellis. Yeah, randomly. Anyways, yeah, Terror Train's pretty good though. Texas Chainsaw 3D. It's just not very good. It's just not very good. Um, I don't like that they sort of turn Leatherface into an anti-hero, which is just like, what? Like, whose decision was that? Some of the dialogue is just really bad, and it's just not very good. Cabin in the Woods. This is a film I really need to rewatch. I haven't seen this movie in years. I do remember liking it though. I'm gonna stick it in good for now, and it's just mainly because I need to rewatch it. It probably should go higher, but I just need a rewatch. Slumber Party Massacre. This is one of those movies that like I just didn't get down with it. I understand like it's supposed to be the way that it is. I guess if that makes sense. Like if you've seen it, I guess that kind of makes sense, but I just couldn't really get into it. It just wasn't my thing. Texas Chainsaw. Let's see. I need to zoom out again here. I feel like I can't see anything. I'm running out of space. Texas Chainsaw is going all the way up top in the all-timers. Yeah, it's great. One of my all-time favorites. Texas Chainsaw Remake. I'm gonna put it in good. I think it is one of the better remakes, and it's kind of interesting because this is one that like it really just essentially does the same exact thing, and typically I would just be all over it on how unnecessary it is, but it does a pretty good job. It does a pretty good job. I think it's pretty well made. I think Jessica Biel in it's pretty solid. I think Arlie Ermey's character is certainly memorable. So yeah. Trick or Treat. I probably should have tossed this one off the list because I do not remember anything about it. I know I've seen it. I cannot remember a single thing about it. It's been that long. So I'm not even going to put it in there because it wouldn't be fair. Anyways, let's do the last two. We've got Wes Craven's New Nightmare. This is a hot take. I'm just not really a fan of New Nightmare, and I hate to for the reason to be because of the kid's performance, but man, he just really does not sell it for me. Yeah, and I think Heather Langenkamp in it is good. I like the meta aspect that he went for. I didn't find it really all that suspenseful. It just didn't really work for me all that well. I just didn't really find it scary, suspenseful, not really memorable kills. There's a couple good moments in it, but I just didn't really jive with it. And you're next, we're going to put in I'm going to go amazing tier. Sharni Vinson, man. It's all about Sharni Vinson. She was also in my Final Girls video, so check out that video if you haven't yet. But yeah, this one, the movie itself, if it was just the movie itself, it would be good. Like, I like it. I think it's pretty solid. But her Final Girl is just, she's phenomenal. So there it sits. So there's my tier list for you, everybody. If you can all, there we go. We'll zoom out again. Now you can see everything, get a final view of it. And there we are. So, yeah. There's my tier list ranking over 50 slasher movies. Let me know what you guys thought of this, and would love to hear from you down in the comments. If you want to see more of these, I enjoyed doing this. It was fun. So give me some ideas, too, down below of other tier list videos you'd like for me to do. Greatly appreciate it. That is all I got for you. Like always, hit that subscribe button. It's all horror and thriller movie content coming at you here. And I'll see you next time on The Haunted Beard.